Okay, we're going to start Unit 6 here today. We're going to go past Unit 4. We just got done with Unit 4. We're going to go from 4 to 6, and we'll come back and do Unit 5. Not that it's any big deal to you. Okay, we're dealing with today inequalities, okay? I need you to take a piece of paper. Now, if you're in class, I gave you this sheet, okay? If you're on camera, you're going to need to write some things down on a separate sheet of paper because you're going to be using this throughout the whole unit, okay? Write the word inequalities at the top, and you're going to need to pause the camera. That symbol there means greater than or equal to. Pause the camera, write that down. Greater than or equal to. Then other words that mean that is at least, starting at, and goal. Those are words that also represent greater than or equal to. Okay, pause the video, write it. I'm not going to just hold the camera. That's going to put the people in class to sleep. Okay, this is less than or equal to. That's what that symbol means. Other words that mean that are at most, no more than, limit, and have. The word have, I'll explain why have's there in a second. Now, that symbol is the same as that symbol. There's just not a line. So that's just greater than without the equal. So more than. More than is another word that means greater than. And that's less than, okay? And then really there's no synonym for that. Okay, you will turn the paper over here eventually, but those are your inequality symbols. Okay, on our first set of examples, on 6.1 part 1, write an inequality that represents each verbal expression. Okay? So this is example 1. Okay, x is less than or equal to -7. So on your document, I put that in italics. If you're in the classroom, I have it in a box, okay? So less than or equal to is that symbol right there. You just write it down, put -7 behind it, and then the variable x. X won't have any operations, that's the answer. Okay, example 2. P is greater than 1.5, okay? Is greater than is, so is greater than is that symbol there without the equal to, okay? Greater than 1.5 with P on the other side. Okay, example 3. 6 less than a number K is greater than 13. Okay, so is greater than is either in a box or italicized, okay? Is greater than, that's that symbol right there, greater than 13. Now I put K, but K's got an operation with it. 6 less would mean -6, okay? So K -6. Put the -6 after the K, please, okay? Because minus, you have to write that in the proper order, the variable and then the number. Okay, example 4. Really, this is pretty easy. The sum of x, of the variable x, and 7 is less than or equal to -3. So is less than or equal to -3. So less than or equal to would be this symbol with -3. Put your x variable there. Now x has an operation, the sum, that means plus 7. Now plus doesn't matter the order, but minus does, okay? So I would just put the number after the variable. Then I'm going to make up a 5th example that's not really on the paper or document. You just need to watch it, okay? The product of x and 3 is less than negative 18. Okay, so his less than would be this symbol, negative 18. Okay, so we have x, but there's an operation with product. Product means multiplication. Okay, put the dot in front of the x and put 3 behind it, because it's usually when we solve equations like that, it's 3 dot x, not x dot 3, so 3x. Now you could also just put 3x if you wanted to. Okay, that's how you're going to do that set of examples. Now before I go to the next set, I need to write some things on this paper. You can just observe. Let's say I have negative 2, negative 7, and I need to fill in that circle with the appropriate inequality symbol. Okay, that or that. Now, this is something you need to understand. The larger number would be negative 2. Negative 2 is bigger than negative 7. Okay, it's a higher amount. It's a higher value than negative 7. The sign should eat or open up towards the bigger number. Okay, the sign has to eat the bigger number. So we would open it up, and then that sentence makes perfect sense. Negative 2 greater than negative 7. Now put 5 and 10. Well, they're both positive. 10's the higher value. So the sign has to open up towards 10. Okay. I'll go negative 2 and positive, or positive 2 and negative 3. A positive always has a higher value than the negative, so the sign would open up towards 2. Okay, so really you need to understand that before we go into our next set of examples. Okay, the next set of examples says determine whether the number, that means yes or no, don't just guess though, show your work, is a solution to the inequality. If I'm writing too fast, you can pause the video. If you got the note, if you got the packet, it's right on there. Okay, this will be example 6. We have the inequality 2x plus 1 greater than negative 3. Okay, x equals negative 1. So I'm going to be x is on the x side. You need to know your operations. 2 times x plus 1. Then we are going to replace that x with negative 1. We don't have to solve for x. We're replacing it. And we have to decide if that's going to make that true or false. Basically, is that going to be the correct way to write that? So first I multiply. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Then I have to add 1, negative 3. Then I add negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. What's the higher value, negative 1 or negative 3? Well, circle the higher value. If the sign is eating that number or opening towards that number, it's true. Okay? So you write yes, that is a solution. Okay. Now, had it been opening up towards the smaller value, then I would have wrote no. Okay. 13 minus 7y less than or equal to 6. Y equals 1. Okay. So again, know your operations on the y side of the inequality, just like you would in equals. 13 minus plus negative 7 times 1. So we're going to replace y with 1. So we have 13 plus negative 7 times 1. So when you multiply, it's negative 7 times 1. That's the point of making it plus negative. 13 plus negative 7. Okay, then I add. 13 plus negative 7 is 6, less than or equal to 6. Now there's no higher value here. They're equal values. So to determine whether it's yes or no, you see if that line's there, less than or equal to. Yeah, the line is there. So since the line's there, we write yes. Had that line not been there and it would have just been less than, I'd be writing no. Okay, example 8. Negative 4x minus 3 greater than or equal to negative 17. X equals 5. So the operations, negative 4 times x minus 3 plus negative 3. Replace your x with 5. then conduct your operations to see what comes over here. I know the value is negative 17 over here. What's the value over here? Well, we have to times. It'd be negative 20 plus negative 3 greater than or equal to negative 17. Then I need to add. That would make negative 23. Think number line. If you're at negative 20, you go backwards 1, 2, 3, negative 23. This is my higher value, but the sign is not eating or opening towards that value like it's supposed to, so that is a no. Okay. Okay, I'll go to the back and do example 9 because I'm running out of room. (10 minus x divided by x less than or equal to negative 60). X equals 0.2. Okay, what are your operations? Well, you got minus and you got divide. So don't put a dot, okay, because you don't have multiplication. Because between the 10 and the x, that's a minus. Don't make it plus negative yet, because we have to substitute 0.2 before we do that. So 10 minus parentheses divided by parentheses less than or equal to negative 60, and now substitute 0.2 in both of the parentheses. Now on top, that is one entire expression on top. You need to figure out the top before you divide. I know divide comes before multiplication, but this is like a parentheses here. It has to be evaluated first. Make it plus negative. 10 plus negative 0.2 is 9.8. So now we have 9.8 divided by 0.2 is less than or equal to negative 60. Now I divide 9.8 by 0.2. I get a pretty high number because when you divide by a decimal less than one whole, the number spikes up. Okay, so I have 49. Obviously the positive has a higher value, but the sign is not opening up towards that value, so that's a no. And also that's a complete, and also if you read it, it doesn't make any sense. 49 is less than or equal to negative 60. No, it's neither one of those. It's greater than, so no. But if you use that sign, you use that rule that has to eat the larger value, then you're good. Okay, now the next thing, before we go to the next thing, the directions are for the next set of examples, graph each inequality. Now, go on the back of that sheet, okay, and you need to write something down when you graph. You're not making an X, Y. You're making a graph in inequality. We use a number line. But you need to write down a couple rules. If it opens toward or eats the variable, that would be the letter, we're going this way. Opens towards, or you can reuse the phrase eats the variable, go this way. Mr. Payne used to say eats a variable. If it opened towards or eats the number, the value, you go this way, okay? So we need to have that sheet right there, okay? Okay, example 10. We have to graph the inequality x is less than 1. Now, sometimes I'm going to say this one thing, okay? If you every time see less than, you're like, well, that goes this way, greater than goes this way. That will work for some of them, but you're going to get a handful of them wrong if you just think that way. I'm just warning you, okay? You need to do some thinking rather than just saying, oh, I see a less than, I'm going that way. If I see a greater than, I'm going that way. No, there's more to it than that, okay? You will get burned if you do that. So just put a 0 and put a 1. You don't need to graph the rest of them. You make a circle. Now if it's just less than without the equals to, we leave it open. Now does this open up or eat the variable x or the number 1? It eats the number 1, so it's eating the number, so it would go this way. Okay. Now to check and see if you did that right, pick a number. You can always check to see if you have it right. Pick a number going this way. Let's pick negative 2. Let's put negative 2 in for x. This is optional on the assignment. Does it eat the bigger number? Yes, it does. So that's right. Okay. Okay, example 12. A greater than or equal to 0, or 11, my bad. So number line, just put 0. circle. Now since we have equal to as well, we fill in the circle. Don't leave it open like we did here. And it's eating or opening towards our variable, so it would go this way. Now to see if we did that right, pick a number going that way. Let's pick 5. That's true. That's a yes. It eats a bigger number, so we'd have it right. Now example 12, don't write this, don't start writing until I tell you though. Write example 12 down, but I don't want you to write this first thing I'm going to do. Write the problem, I guess. Sorry. Being an idiot. Can't decide what I want you to do. Okay. Write the problem down. Write -2 greater. I want you writing that. I want you to make your number line. Okay. Now, do not write this next thing. Here's the mistake people make. They start feeling confident, they see greater than, they're like, oh, I'll just make it go this way. That is wrong. Pick a number going that way. Okay, I'm going to pick a number going that way. Let's pick 2. So I'm going to put 2 in for x. It's not eating the bigger number, is it? So that's the wrong way. That's why you are going to get absolutely burned if you don't follow. So now you're going to write, make the symbol, fill it, make the circle, fill it in. It's opening up towards the number, okay? It's eating the number, so it goes that way. Now, let's prove why that's right. Pick a number going that way. Let's pick -6, okay? -2 is a higher value, and it opens up towards that value, so that is right. You can't just assume, oh, I see a greater than that way, less than that way. No, you need to use these rules here, okay? Okay, next example. If you follow that, this would be a walk in the park, okay? Okay, so f greater than -3. Circle, it's opening towards our variable, so it would go this way. Okay, that easy. Next example, I'm going to start rolling now. 8 greater than equal to b. Again, just because you see greater than, don't put that. I'll check this answer, make sure it's right. Let's pick -1. -1's higher value, it opens up towards that. That's right, okay? B, it's opening towards our number, so it would go that way. B would be all values going this way. So let's pick a number that way. Let's pick 5. Bam, that's true, okay? 8's bigger, opens up. Again, on the number line, you cannot just say, oh, I see greater than. Again, I've said that like 5 times, so I'm going to quit saying it, but it's very important, okay? Okay, so -2, circle, fill it. It's opening towards our variable, so the variable would be anything this way. Let's pick a number. Let's pick 3. Yep, it opens up towards the higher value, so we did it right. That's just checking to see if we did it right. Next example. 9 less than or equal to c. Just because I said less than, that does not mean necessarily you're going, I said necessarily you're going this way. That's opening up towards our variable, so it would go this way. Let's pick a number that way. Let's pick 12. So, yep, opens towards a bigger number, so that's right. Last example, a greater than or equal to -20. So again, it's important we use this sheet throughout the whole unit, so keep it in a safe place if you're doing virtual. Okay, opens towards a variable, so it would go this way. Now I'll pick a number this way. Let's pick +3. I'm just randomly picking a number. Yep, there's a higher value, opens up towards that value like it should. Okay. All right, then the last set of examples. You are writing an inequality for each graph, okay? And those of you on virtual, when you get to that part of the assignment, I've included a link so you can see the graphs. I can't put them on the document. First, your idiot teacher has to go dig the graphs out of the trash. Sorry about that. Take about 30 seconds. Okay, here's the first graph. If you're in the classroom, it's on the paper already. Here's a number line. Now you have to write the inequality. It's like you see the graph, now you have to write the inequality. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to use x, and then I'm going to put 3. I would put the variable first, then the number. Okay, when it's going that way, it has to open towards the number, the value. Don't put the equals to because it's not filled in. That's the answer. Okay, next example. This is what it looks like. You got 0, -2. You don't have to put all the numbers in between. That's a waste of time. Okay. Circle, or no, and going that way. Again, this is the problem. This is the problem. You just write that down. That's the problem. Now here's how I write the answer. Put x -2. When it goes this way, it has to open towards the variable. Don't put the line though, okay? Again, you can always check to see if you're doing this right. Pick a number this way. Let's pick 1. Okay, 3's higher value. It's opening up towards that like it should. This way, 5. 5's higher value. It's opening towards 5 like it should. Okay. Next example. That's just checking the answers when I pick a random number. You don't have to do that if you don't think it's necessary, if you think you fully understand it. Okay, so we have x was 0. It's going this way. So again, going that way, it has to eat the number or the value. If you're not confident that you're doing that right, guess a number that way. Let's pick -4 for x. 0 has a higher value than negatives, okay? So that's correct. This opens up -4 less than 0. Okay, and then the next example. Oh, you need to put the line there because it's filled in. Okay, you got 0 and 1. You circle, you fill it in. It's going this way. Again, that's the original problem. So put x with 1. And when we're rolling this way, we're opening towards our variable. Now, if I'm not confident that I did that right, I'll pick a number going that way. Let's pick 6. Yeah, that makes sense. It opens to the bigger number. Okay, so there you go. Okay, that's it for 6.1. Remember, if you're on virtual, when you get to 13 through 16, you're going to need to click on that link I have there so you can actually see what graphs you're going to be writing the inequality for.